If you don't understand what is unseen to you, it is hard to sustain what is seen to you. That means anything which is invisible, the foundation of any institution, banking, financial sectors, political system, social system, any system that is visible to you, and if it collapsed, you won't be able to figure out the reasons for it, because if you do not work on, try to understand what was the basis of it, what was the root on which, the foundation I'm talking about, on which it was built. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking again, welcome to my YouTube channel. And this is a wonderful weather outside, so I thought of shooting a video from here. Previously, I have given you insight about several ongoing social issues, political issues, and economical issues. My goal is to spread the awareness. This video is not about spreading any hatred or criticizing any system or finding out the loopholes into any system or the weaknesses of any system. I'm not here to, point out a particular system, institution, or any body, because that is not my goal. I'm not an expert into any such field. What I talk about is from my own experience as a common man, because anything that happens in the world today, it's going to impact me. We're living in a world where global trade, if it goes down, if anything happens at the global level, it impacts me financially, socially, politically, and in all the ways. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a part of minority in the country, which is 3% of 1.5 billion people. Somebody says 100 crore people, but how many people are paying taxes? Is it people's fault? Is it government fault? Or political system's fault? I don't want to talk about all that, because my words might be taken out of context, and people will make crazy amount of story over this. So let's get to the point instead of going here and there. What is my today's video all about? Today's video is all about the financial crisis, the banking sector crisis happening in the United States. You all have heard, people those who are interested in the finance and economic sector or come from that background, they know better than me, because they have done all the studies. They have seen the videos. There are lots of experts available on YouTube. They are YouTubers and putting information on it. If you want, I can share the link. But my intention here to give the information and insight from a layman terms perspective. For a common man like me and you and I, who do not have a time to spend, much hours on YouTube, because the mainstream media is not going to talk about it. Even if they talk diplomatically. They don't want to give out uh, whether you will be impacted or not. They were there, uh, you know view to look at these crises will be different. They won't be saying that if a Lehman Bank was collapsed in 2008, it resulted in the recession in India also. There is the word recession means there's a decline in everything, decline in GDP, decline in growth, finance, everything. Even on the recession, depression, there are lots of stuff available on Google. You can go and check it over there. My intention is to tell you, can the crisis, if it happens in the United States with just two banks, still collapsed the entire world in terms of financial uh, and the growth perspective? Yes, absolutely it can. Because let me tell you about the prediction of this sort of crisis. It is not just the 2008 crisis were not predicted, or the crisis which is happening today is not predicted. Even the Nori Robini, he predicted 2008 crash. Now Dr. Doom expect ugly recession, which is worse than depression coming soon. And this is exactly what is happening. Silicon Valley Bank, one of the largest financial institution, which has built so many startups, has collapsed, got shut down. People been fired. I mean, the management system of that bank has been fired. Even the Joe Biden has requested to take an action against those people. But is it really the fault of Silicon Valley Bank or the Signature Bank in the New York, which is collapsed? And if they collapse, will it result in a chain of collapsing like what happened in 2008 when Lehman Bank and Washington Mutual Bank from the Wall Street declared themselves a file for a bankruptcy, which resulted in global recession? I myself had to work for 12 hours. There was no job opportunities, less job, less cash flow. Real estate was down in India itself. So there was a trouble all over the world, not only in United States. So whatever happens today in terms of Silicon Valley or lots of startups associated with it, definitely it's going to have some impact, if not huge, on our country as well. But what was the reason behind the Silicon Valley Bank, or we saw the crisis of Amazon, Facebook? All Mang has lay off several employees from their companies, whom they have hired, and at a cost, at a very high cost. There was an association of employee and employer, and all resulted in a collapse. We saw a great decline in Facebook shares. What exactly went wrong? When 2020, the pandemic hit, there was a boom of internet sector. Everyone was online because people could not go outside. This I've already talked about how Mang has defaulted on its share prices and what were the prediction where it went, because somebody said the rapid economy cannot be sustained. Anything which goes faster at a speed which is unexpectable, unbelievable, it will collapse one day. That's the reason I said in the initial uh, part of the video, if you don't work or if you don't understand what is unseen, it is difficult, it is hard to maintain what is seen to you. And I was referring to a large tree which has a crown, beautiful crown, and a trunk and the root. If the roots are not deepen enough, any cyclone, hurricane can uproot it. So same thing is happening. These are the cyclone, hurricane which are coming in the economic world, and they are uprooting the financial systems. But as a common man, what is important for all of us to understand, whatever virus, coronavirus did, whether it was created in lab, whether it was jumped out of a bat to a human being, anyhow, it was a human error. Even if it came out from the lab, intentionally, unintentionally, it was a human error. If it came jumped from a bat to a human being, it was a human error. Why would you eat something which is not meant to eat for a human digestion? Bat has a better immune system than you, so it is a human fault. And today the world, uh, is a global word. The Wuhan virus, the place Wuhan where everybody lived, people from all over the world, live in that place. 6.5 magnitude earthquake, which has an epic center in Afghanistan. The tremor were felt in India. So even the earthquake is shaking us, which is happening, 3,000 mile away or 2,000 miles away from here. So the word is impermanence, unpredictable. Okay, let's get back to the point, and we don't want to divert our mind from the crisis and financial crisis which are happening in the United States. So my point is, just to cut the long story short, that this is the time. Then we need to ensure, not we, I mean, the political system of the global political system, geopolitical system, talking about, they come together, because the Russian Ukraine war is the root cause of collapse of the economy in these banks, Silicon Valley Bank. And in 2008, what happened? It was again, an, I would say, improper distribution of the mortgages, which they lend money to people who could not return it to the bank, and bank filed for bankruptcy. Even today, if you think about from SBI or any bank perspective, you deposit your savings in terms of fixed deposit, PPF, and all that, and these banks give the money to the businessman. It is okay to run a country, to improve the infrastructure. The startups, businesses have to grow, they have to expand their horizon. There's no fault in it. But someone has to keep a track, check and balances. Someone has to keep, an eye on it. There has to be a regulatory system which keeps an eye on these lending, on what grounds the loans have been, the mortgages are, you know provisioned or allocated. Today if I go to a bank, they will check my civil record. They don't just straight away give me loan. Now, why don't you check the background of a businessman who's running away from your country before you lending crores rupees? So these are all, the lack in the system. Unfortunately, I'm saying the lack system. There are lack in the system because we do not have a regulatory system to keep an eye monitoring on these sort of institution whom banks are lending money. And lending money, creates a vulnerability in the system. And where today something goes wrong with our major banks, if they say they do not have money because on the businesses they spend the money, they are on decline, they cannot clear their debt, your money is gone. When your money is gone, poor people gone, the entire system will be collapsed. You will not have a cash flow in the market, and suddenly who will suffer at the end? The common man. So my request to the world, to the geopolitical system, to our political system is to maintain the peace and harmony among yourself, because it at the end, if a war happens between Russia and Ukraine, it impacts the entire world. It impacts the common man in entire globe. If today war happens between India and China, it will impact the world. It will not only impact the Indians. So territorial disputes, disputes of ego, this should go away, you know and common man has to make a noise that it reaches to the people, those who are really playing with your emotion, your money, and your life and your career. People has to make come out of it, from their comfort zone and need to think about it. And ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to make a long video because people are not interested these days to watch long videos. They are now getting used to of watching short dances on YouTube channels, Instagram, 30 seconds. They are getting they are, they are making their DNA structure genes in such a way that tomorrow they will not be able to tolerate a video more than a minute. So this is very difficult for a common man. 12 minute for them, it's a boring things. They don't find interest. They find interest if a girl shakes, legs and everything and all that. So this is the main problem for a common man. If I'm a girl, I shoot a video, I just smile, it will have millions of views and 100,000 likes. I'm not saying the entertainment should not be there, but do not get sleepy on entertainment that you one day you become an entertainment, and the political system enjoys its life and you pay the price of it. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me. Do subscribe and like. Press the like button if you really like, and let me know if you want more insight on such things. The next upcoming video would be on educational system, how to improve it, and the other would be on you know the career counseling part from the newcomer's perspective. So thanks again, take care, stay blessed, bye bye.